Alright, against the odds time, this week we are playing some Modern, and we are playing Near Death Experience. So, we will see how this goes. I think we're just going to lead on Swamp into Thoughtseize, see what our opponent's up to. We will take the Serum Visions. We don't really mind losing life, because eventually we are going to want to be at 1 life. Alright, Flooded Strand, pass. Alright, let's crack our Flooded Strand. So I guess we can get our Hallowed Fountain here. Plains. Yeah, let's just go Flooded Strand, crack it, get Watery Grave. Calcite Snapper. Good on defense. Opponent's going to bolt our face, so we're down to 11. Scalding Tarn. Snapcaster for the bolt, I assume? Oh, for Serum Visions, okay. Well, we got Snapcaster locked down with Calcite Snapper. Bottom top. Let's play this Plains, and then just Idyllic Tutor to get a Worship for now. If we can resolve Worship, then we have a lot of time to put together the rest of our combo. Our opponent may have a counter spell. Do we want to slam the Worship into a Cryptic? Let's not. Let's just play this Wall of Denial and Flooded Strand. Still not going to go on the offensive, I don't believe. We want to get this Worship down at some point. Celestial Colonnade gets stonewalled by our Wall of Denial, thankfully. Ooh, Karma? So that's another part of our combo. Go for the Worship. Whoa, it resolved! Alright, now we're in business. Now we can play Urborg. Still not going to attack. And now basically, we're looking to get down this Karma. We would like the near-death experience, but Karma is good too. The other thing is Cryptic can bounce the Worship to give our opponent a 1-turn window to try to kill us. I guess we just, let's play Karma. So Karma, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals damage equal to the number of swamps that player controls. Oh, alright. Counters it, bounces Snapcaster. I guess we play Watery Grave. Do not pay life. But since they bounce the Snapcaster, we are going to get in for 4 with Calcite Snapper. So drawing another Worship would actually be pretty good. Godless Shrine. Not exactly what we were hoping for. Play Godless Shrine. We are not going to attack this time. And we're just going to pass and represent that our last card is a counter or something. Restoration Angel. Going to get in with the Colonnade. We could really use a Snapcaster. Or another Worship would be great. Or a discard spell to get rid of Snapcaster. Karma. Is there any way of stealing this win? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Karma will hit our opponent for 8. But then if they just use Snapcaster to bounce our Worship, it will kill us. I guess we play this Calcite Snapper. Attack for 1. And see, maybe if we live 1 more turn, because our opponent can't fire up the Colonnade and use Cryptic to bounce the Worship. So maybe we can wait 1 more turn and steal the win somehow. Alright, we're going to be down to our last turn though. So we block the Colonnade, and then I think we need to crack this Flooded Strand, get a Godless Shrine, tapped. Actually, that might be a mistake. Opponent has another land. Alright, Shambling Vent. We are going to activate both our Calcite Snappers, attack for 8. Whoa, we have a slight chance. If this resolves, I think we just win. Whoa! Whoa! At the beginning of their upkeep, unless they can, like, Snapcaster bounce our Worship and bolt us or something? Oh, do they have a burn spell too? We got the Lethal Karma on the stack. Come on! There's the Cryptic. Oh, they have a burn spell, don't they? 1, 2, yep. Oh. Okay. Well, we survive, actually. That's fine. Unless they can get rid of our Worship. If they have another Cryptic. Yes! They had to bounce the Urborg to stay alive. And then we would have just replayed Urborg and got him with Karma next turn. Oh, yes. It's so sweet. With, like, negates and dispels to deal with the counter magic. Yeah, I think that's fine. Oh, that was a sweet kill. That was sweet. We didn't get the near-death experience combo, but it was still sweet. Alright, our opponent keeps, we keep. We're just going to lead on this Polluted Delta. We're going to need blue mana. Alright, tap land. So, we are going to search out a Hallowed Fountain, play Urborg, play Greater Oromancy. Gives all our enchantments Shroud, and enchanted creatures would also have Shroud. Not that we have any enchanted creatures, or creature enchantments. Another land for our opponent. Polluted Delta. Well, let's just play Watery Grave untapped and play Calcite Snapper. We have the near-death experience, too. Electrolyze. Down to 15. Opponent draws a card. Can we start Karma-ing? Well, let's play Polluted Delta. So let's not. And instead, let's just Idyllic Tutor. See if that draws out a counter. No. Alright, so we will get the Worship. Pass the turn. Dispel would be a sweet draw to force this Worship through. There's the Restoration Angel. So we're taking a lot of damage. Alright, down to 12. We need to crack this to get a white source, so we're down to 11. We need a Godless Shrine. Well, now I think we play Godless Shrine, tapped, and we're going to attack with Calcite Snapper. If our opponent wants to tap out to kill it, then we get to resolve the Worship. So I think we just have to slam the Worship here and hope that it resolves. Opponent has a mana leak. Alright, not good. Opponent gets in with the Resto. We're down to 8. Land, tapped. Ooh, Dispel? Let's go with our near-death experience. See if this resolves. They let that resolve. And we don't have any fetches or anything to manipulate our life total. Alright, down to 5. We could draw a Worship. That would be sweet. Flooded Strand. Alright, Alright, we're going for it. Nope, we are not. Alright, we're going for the kill. We're going for near-death experience kill. We have 2 counters. So if our opponent hits us with Resto, yep, here comes Resto, down to 2. Alright, we crack this, puts us to 1. We get an island. So we have 2 counters. Is it enough? They can't bounce it. Are we going to get it? Our opponent's going to try something. 1, 2, Snapcaster Mage for Electrolyze. Alright, we let that go. And then we dispel the Electrolyze. And we got the the near-death experience kill in our first match. Oh my god. I can't believe this is working. So yeah, we will dispel the Electrolyze. Our opponent dispels the Dispel. We'll let that go. Then we'll negate the Electrolyze. And we did it! Near-death Oh my god, that is so good. So good. Very first round out of the gate. 2-0. Near-death experience. Oh, that was so good. Alright, against odds, near-death experience in Modern, and we have a hand where we can't really play anything. And our opponent conceded before even playing a card. Well, that was easy. We'll take it. Alright, against odds, near-death experience in Modern. Seems reasonable in a lot of matchups. We got the Karma combo with Urborg. Oh boy. Amulet. Well, I guess we're just going Urborg, Thoughtseize, Primeval Titan, and Summerbloom. Well, gotta take the Summerbloom. At least we can path the Titan for a minute. And we might draw another discard spell. Flooded Strand, pass. None of this prevents our opponent from playing a Titan, but it makes them take a while longer. I guess maybe there's an argument for taking the Titan. And they draw Azusa, Lost But Seeking. Gemstone Mine, and passes. Well, I don't even think we kill the Azusa. I think we just crack this, Godless Shrine. Let's just go Flooded Strand, pass. They do have the mana for a Titan. So now we're hoping they decide to try to haste up the Titan and we can kill it in response. If they go with get the lands to get another Titan, then that's worse. Primeval Titan, see what they search up. Thankfully this deck will be gone before long. Should not be Modern legal. Aha! Alright, they do go with the somewhat greedy route. So we get to just path this Primeval Titan. Because they could have gotten a Tolaria West to get another Titan, but instead they went with the Haste Titan plan. I guess they can Boros garrison up their Azusa, or Slayer Stronghold it. Oh, they just draw another Titan? Is that what's happening? Looks like. Well, that's even more annoying. And they did just draw another Titan. And this time I'm sure they'll search up lands that allow them to get another Titan. Yep, Vesuva and Tolaria West. We gotta crack this, get a Hallowed Fountain, path the Titan. Well, they did not pick up their Tolaria West. So they'll just Serum Visions to find another Titan. Bottom and top, so they must have found a Titan. Slayer Stronghold, the Azusa, get in for 3. And we draw land, Flooded Strand, crack it, get a island, play Karma, pass the turn. I mean, if they have another Titan, we're dead. Like, as soon as they play it, we scoop. And I'm sure they do. We do hit our opponent for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, down to 13. I guess that's the downside of ramping so much. Gets another plant, untaps Colony Garden. Yep, they found another Titan. Well, 3 Titans in the top of 17. Can't do much about it. I guess we want Inquisitions, Duress. I guess Greater Oromancy can go out. We can probably go down a couple creatures, actually. We're not going to need too many creatures for Worship. And, yeah, bring in more discard, try it like that. I will do a little dance once this deck is officially banned in 2 weeks. Well, alright. We don't have much action, but we have 3 discard spells. So, we are going to try it. Hopefully we draw into lands, but let's lead on Inquisition. 2 Primeval Titans, Serum Visions, and lands. So we take Serum Visions. Land? Alright, we draw an Urborg. We'll Thoughtseize, take a Primeval Titan, Urborg, Thoughtseize, take a Primeval Titan. Alright, pass the turn. Hope that we keep drawing stuff. Gemstone Mine. Alright, we drew land. That is good. We are getting close. We are 1 land away from Wall of Denial and Worship. Doesn't save us from Hive Mind, but it saves us from a lot of other stuff. And we could also just draw more paths. Well, I kept one of the cards. There's a land. Alright. Yes, we will pay 2 life. Crack this. Get a Godless Shrine. Get a Godless Shrine. Play Worship. Pass the turn. Opponent remove some counters. Simic Growth Chamber. Cycles Tolaria West. So they are setting up for a... Oh, they get a Pact of Negation? Interesting. We're going to play Wall of Denial and a tapped Watery Grave. Pass the turn. Ancient Stirrings into Azusa. Tap land. Azusa's not... These cards are not as good without Amulet. That is a big deal in this deck. Let's play another Worship. Polluted Delta. Pass the turn. So they can't really kill us with Primeval Titan. They have to go on the Hive Mind plan. Ancient Stirrings. Karma would be sweet, as would Near Death Experience. Gruul Turf. Plays the Gruul Turf. Plays Gemstone Mine. Taps it. Leyline of Sanctity. Not really relevant to what we're doing. I mean, we can't use our discard spells anymore, but... Well, there's Karma. This is probably going to draw out the Pact of Negation, I would assume. I think it has to. Yep, Pact of Negation. So our opponent's going to spend their next turn paying for Pact. And we got the Pact out of their hands, so our other stuff should be free to resolve. Bounce land, picks up Gemstone Mine, replays Gemstone Mine. Come on, enchantments. Shambling Vent. Play it, pass. What does our opponent find? Find a Summoner's Pack. So, well, they get to Titan, but their Titan can't kill us. And their Titan actually is going to put us to 1. Which means, if we can ever find a near-death experience, I guess it'll be interesting to see if they still have Hive Mind in their deck, if they left it in. Also, since we have double Worship, we're a little less worried about other things. A 1 enchantment removal spell, for example. Gonna haste up the Titan. We need to crack this before we take damage. Get another Godless Shrine. Because once we go down to 1, then pay the life necessary to crack it. Obviously not blocking. Tolaria West, Simic Growth Chamber. I guess they can keep cycling for Pact of Negations to stop us from playing things. Still a question as to how they actually win the game. Well, that helps. Greater Oromancy. Make sure that they can't kill our worships. Well, this is going to be a very odd game. Very, very odd. They cycle the Tolaria West, get a Summoner's Pact. But they will Summoner's Pact. I guess they can just try to get all the lands out of their deck, which increases their odds of drawing a Hive Mind, assuming they still have a Hive Mind. Another Titan. How many Tolaria West do they have left? They've used 2, so that'll be their 3rd. So they are kind of running out of Tolaria West, which is good. And we can pay for Pact of Negation off a Hive Mind. So they search out a bunch more lands. The other thing is, they have so many lands that Karma would be super devastating. So they definitely have to make sure they can counter that. So I think all the relevant cards in their deck are Hive Minds and Pacts. I think that's literally the only cards that matter. And we actually are going to have a window. Ancient Stirrings, okay. Takes a Vesuva. Alright, I guess we just pass. No reason to play this Watery Grave. Might as well hold on to it. That was our window. If we had drawn a near-death experience there, I think we just win. Every turn they don't cycle for a Pact of Negation is another turn where we could draw a near-death experience and just win the following turn. So yes, no blocks. Tap land, pass the turn. We are giving our opponent way too much time. Idyllic Tutor does it. Idyllic Tutor would find near-death experience. Opponent keeps attacking. And our opponent, after this, if they're not careful, will be in one-shot Karma range, where if we just draw and resolve a Karma, it'll deal 20 damage. 1, 2, 3... we'll count them at the end of turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They go to 19, so I guess they are playing around that possibility. Vesuva. Alright, Ghost Quarter. Untaps. Well, we just keep drawing lands. We are giving our opponent infinity to draw a Hive Mind, unfortunately. Oh my god. Alright, that's like 5 lands in a row. This is really disappointing. Oh, did they draw it? Yep, alright. Well, we had a lot of turns to draw something, and we drew all lands. Alright. Against odds, near-death experience in Modern, and, well, we don't have our enchantments, but we have a bunch of good defensive creatures. We'll lead on Shambling Vents. Wooded Foothills. Well, let's, Thoughtseize. See what's going on over there. Oh, my lord. 3 Enchantresses, a Suppression Field, a Genesis Wave, and a Sigil? Yeah, we'll take Sigil. We'll just crack our fetch in response to them casting the Suppression Field, and then we'll just play our Calcite Snappers and stuff. Yep, so crack this. I think we need our Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. So Watery Grave, yes. Untapped. Calcite Snapper, pass the turn. So our opponent's apparently some sort of Enchantress deck. Alright, they draw a land, but it's tapped. Fertile Ground. Well, I think we just play a Calcite Snapper, play a Shambling Vent, flip the Power and Toughness. These are triggered abilities, so they're not impacted by Suppression bonds. Field. It's field. Get in for 4. It will slow us down from activating our Shambling Vents, though. Well, there's Enchantress number 1. So I have 2 more Enchantresses and a Genesis Wave. Well, I guess we play a tapped Godless Shrine, flip the power, attack for 8, Bitter Blossom. So our offense is slowing down a lot unless we keep drawing lands. If we keep drawing lands, then we can just beat down with these Calcite Snappers. Alright, Fertile Ground draws our opponent a card. They are also kind of locked behind their Suppression Field. Another Enchantress. Come on, land. Alright, we make a token. Idyllic Tutor. Well, I guess we Idyllic Tutor. Yeah, let's just take Greater Oromancy. We can cast it right away. So, pass the turn. We don't want them to draw something that destroys our Greater Oromancies. Or our other enchantments. There's the Enchantress. So, they're going to draw a ton of cards every enchantment they play. They're going to crack Wooded Foothills. And an Arbor Elf. Alright, they're setting up for the big Genesis Wave. We get a token. Worship. Well, alright, let's get in with our Fairy Rogue. Puts our opponent to 5. Play a Worship. So, I don't know what's going to happen in this game. Our opponent is probably going to draw a ton of cards. But we have a Worship with Shroud, some creatures with Shroud, and a Bitter Blossom with Shroud. Genesis Wave X3. Oh, they get a Greater Oromancy and an Oblivion Ring, which I guess can hit our Greater Oromancy? Yep, but they're still pretty close to... Huh, they didn't play Greater Oromancy. Alright, our opponent scoops it up. Woo, that was interesting. Well, we want Disenchants, we want Detention Spheres, we probably want Negates, Duresses, and Inquisitions. I guess we can go down our Walls of Denial and just use our Calcite Snappers for Worship. You can go down a Path. Yeah, we'll go down a Worship, Idyllic Tutor, and we'll just bring in one more Inquisition. Alright, try it like that. We're more on the near-death experience plan now. Ooh, well, we have a lot of the stuff that we want. Mana might be an issue. Arbor Elf. Crack this, get a Watery Grave, or... Yeah, we probably need White Source. Let's get a Godless Shrine. Untapped. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I guess we gotta take Aura of Silence since it shuts down our combo and kills our artifacts and enchantments. Ghostly Prison. We draw land, so let's just go Hallowed Fountain, untapped, into Bitter Blossom. We're down to 13 life, but we're up to 3 lands, so we might be able to get the near-death experience win. Tap land. I'm a little worried. How many Aura of Silence could they possibly play? Idyllic Tutor, what do they find? They do have another Aura of Silence. Well, that is annoying. Well, that helps. Greater Oromancy, Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Fertile Ground, untaps it. Aura of Silence. Make a token. Yeah, let's just pass this time. I think we're going to path one of our tokens to get another land, since they're not really attacking anyway and we need lands. Nykthos. So our opponent has a bunch of mana. Genesis Wave X5, Greater Oromancy, and Oblivion Ring, and an Arbor Elf. Alright, they get rid of our Greater Oromancy, but they are also out of action. We are going to path a token, get a Plains. Still would like to draw lands. Alright, Shambling Vents is good. Play our Shambling Vents. I guess we can crack this, get an island, and play our Calcite Snapper, and pass the turn. Now we just hope our opponent doesn't draw anything crazy. They should have a lot of enchantments that aren't very good cluttering up their deck. Or they have Starfield of Nyx. Alright. Well, that is the opposite of drawing nothing. No attacks. The problem is we can't cast our near-death experience. Yeah, I wasn't counting on Starfield, and we don't have a good answer for it. They get back another Aura of Silence, so we're nowhere near being able to cast our near-death experience now. No attacks. Well, we get to keep making tokens. We draw a land, which we will play tapped. And we'll just pass, I guess. Land for our opponent. Make another token. Alright, let's play Polluted Delta. We are not going to switch power and toughness. Enchantress. And Rune Halo. Draws our opponent a card. Cracks the land. Another Ghostly Prison. Draws another card. Untaps land. Fertile Ground. I'm just going to scoop it up. If our opponent does go on the Starfield of Nyx plan, Supreme Verdict is pretty good. Yeah, we'll bring in one Supreme Verdict. We get to play first. Hopefully we have discard. All lands, Thoughtseize, and a Karma. I don't think we can keep that. Well, this hand has some good stuff, but we don't have lands, which is probably going to be the death of us. Arbor Elf. Well, we draw land, but it's not really the land we were hoping for. Well, we'll play Greater Oromancy. We need black mana. And we have a ton of black sources. We have like 2 lands in our deck that don't produce black mana. Maybe we should have kept all lands Thoughtseize. Fertile Ground. Supreme Verdict. I guess we are just going to have to pass and path this Arbor Elf, which feels pretty horrible. But it produces a lot of mana. Another land for our opponent. Eidolon of Blossoms. Draws our opponent a card. A land would still be good. Not a land. Alright, pass the turn. Well, let's disenchant that Eidolon. Enchantress. There's a land, but it's tapped. Gonna be too slow. Just couldn't find the lands. I'm not gonna get to Thoughtseize until turn 6. It's just not doable. Oblivion Ring gets rid of our Greater Oromancy. Untap land. Ghostly Prison draws our opponent a card. Well, we're still rooting for lands. Technically, we're still in this game if we draw lands. Well, we draw a Thoughtseize. Not really what we wanted there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Well, I guess we just take Idyllic Tutor for now. Opponent plays Starfield, draws a card, activates their enchantments, and that does it. Alright, against odds, near-death experience. This is... ooh, I don't think we can keep this hand. That's better. Thoughtseize, Bitter Blossom, Blackcleave Cliffs into Faithless Looting. Alright, this looks like... whoa. Something spicy and dredgy. Well, let's lead on Inquisition. Waste Not and Raven's Crime. Guess we get rid of Waste Not. Hakan Stromgald Surge. So they can cast it from their graveyard as long as it's on the battlefield. They can play Knights from the graveyard. When it dies, they lose 2 life. They dredge, they Raven's Crime. We will pitch a Thoughtseize, which doesn't seem great. Raven's Crime again. We'll pitch our other Thoughtseize. Still doesn't seem great. Polluted Delta, sack it. Get a Hallowed Fountain and slam this Bitter Blossom. We might end up pathing one of our own tokens to get another land. Oh, Liliana. Okay. Well, let's pitch Wall of Denial. I guess we'd like to just draw a land here would be ideal. Make a token. Well, alright. We're just going all in Bitter Blossom. Is Bitter Blossom, 2 Bitter Blossoms, enough to win us the game on its own? Opponent dredges. Stinkweed is pretty annoying, especially since we have to discard our path. But we are getting 2 tokens every turn. Play the Flooded Strand. I don't think we can attack yet. Hakan. Okay. Plays a tap land, pumps up the Liliana. Ooh, Wall of Denial's not bad. So let's crack this, get our planes, cast a Wall of Denial as a blocker. Then we get to attack with everything at Liliana, unfortunately. They get to eat one of our tokens. Our opponent can kill a token with Vengeful Pharaoh. Okay. We just have to keep that Liliana from going ultimate. Dark Blast a token. We don't really have any graveyard hate, so this might go bad. Assuming we don't find some combination of lands into near-death experience or worship. And worship doesn't even really... yeah, do it. Alright, there's a land tapped. So I think what we're hoping for is lands into near-death experience. Nameless Inversion from the graveyard. Kills a token. Pumps up Liliana. Bitter Blossom. Alright, Watery Grave tapped. So if they want to ultimate Liliana, I guess we gotta let them, unfortunately. The Nameless Inversion Hakan combo is wrecking us. Alright, we draw 3, discard 3. Discarded stuff we didn't want anyway, so that's fine. Our opponent's still going to be able to ultimate, though, which is the problem. Well, let's Idyllic Tutor. Problem is they can ultimate that Liliana. Otherwise, if it wasn't for Liliana, I think we would have been able to win this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna scoop actually. I don't want to reveal what's going on, and it doesn't look like we would have drawn it. All right, against this deck, we don't really have graveyard hate, unfortunately. I guess Detention Sphere gets rid of a Liliana. Repeal might be all right. Negates are somewhat reasonable. We just don't have a good way of dealing. They shouldn't have a good way of dealing with what we're doing. We can get rid of the Greater Oromancies, and then I guess we'll go down this Inquisition. See how much discard our opponent has. We'll lead on Shambling Vents. Duress. What do they take? Bitter Blossom. Ooh, near-death experience. Alright. Shambling Vent, pass the turn. Bloodstained Mire cracks it. Untapped. Magmatic Insight. And another Duress. So our opponent's stripping our hand pretty well, but they don't really have anything in their graveyard that's worthwhile. Ooh. That's interesting. Idyllic Tutor, get a Worship. And next turn we'll have a choice between Karma, which actually seems pretty good just naturally, and Worship. Oh boy. They draw a card. I guess they just draw cards. Oh, they get 2 mana and draw 2 cards. And a Smallpox. Oh my god. Sack our swamp. Our opponent has a Stinkweed, so they're going to be able to start dredging if they want to. Our opponent draws another card. Alright, we get to Thoughtseize our opponent. get rid of a Burning Inquiry. Godless Shrine tapped, pass the turn. See what our opponent does. They just have so much discard. Oh, and they draw a Wrench Mine? Well, I think that's just game over. Basically. Passes the turn. Well, Polluted Delta. Sack it. Watery Grave. Untapped. The problem our opponent is going to have is now their discard doesn't do anything. And their Waste Not doesn't do anything. I guess they can use that Burning Inquiry for one turn, but they only have one left, so what do? There's Burning Inquiry. So we draw 3, discard 3. And we also have our mana base build up to a point where we will be able to start playing enchantments that we draw. We play basically anything we draw in our deck apart from Near-Death Experience. We cannot play at the moment. Well, we can play Bitter Blossom. That makes some blockers and maybe buys us some time. Hakan. Well, we are going to want to get rid of that before they start comboing off. Makes a token, loses a life. Calcite Snapper. Well, that's another card that we can't play. So our opponent's going to get another zombie. Yep, Raven's Crime. They get a zombie since we can't play the Calcite Snapper. I guess we just chump for now. Stinkweed. Polluted Delta. Alright. Pass the turn. Well, this is pretty disappointing how this is working out. Chump. Faithless Looting. Draws 2, discards 2. Seems like a deck that isn't really playable, though. Especially with the Eldrazi deck being so popular. I mean, running into the 4 main deck Relic of Progenitus Scrabbling Claw deck, I don't know how this deck ever beats that deck. So, I mean, we just ran into a weird matchup. Not really excited about the Worship because they kill the fairy and it doesn't matter. Alright, well, that was just a bad matchup. Alright, against odds, Near-Death Experience in Modern, and we have a 1-lander that we have to mulligan. Yeah, we'll try this. Better than the other options. Ooh, Karma? Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. Well, that makes our discard worse. Godless Shrine. Tapped. I have no idea what this means. Well, Inquisition's a dead card at the moment. Let's just get an island for now and run out a Bitter Blossom. I think at this point we're on the win by attacking with Bitter Blossom tokens plan. Opponent does nothing. We get a Bitter Blossom token. Oh my gosh! We have 3 Bitter Blossoms. Alright, play Polluted Delta. Pass. Well, I think our Bitter Blossom plan might get there. Our opponent went Leyline of Sanctity, Godless Shrine, pass. Now they're discarding. Is this part of their plan? Exquisite Blood, alright. Yeah, well, let's attack. Play Bitter Blossom number 3 and Godless Shrine. Then we can actually start attacking with that Shambling Events to gain back some of the life for losing with Bitter Blossom. Well, let's crack Polluted Delta, get a Godless Shrine. Opponent discards a Path. Ooh, Near-Death Experience? Is there a way we can... Well, we can't cast it yet. Well, let's attack with our fairies for 3. Play a Wall of Denial. Pass the turn. Denial. Alright, attack with the tokens. Puts our opponent to 10. Play another Wall of Denial. And opponent scoops it up. Alright. Alright, game 2 against something crazy. This is reasonable. Got our Near-Death Experience. There's the Leyline. Tap Godless Shrine. Do we want to start draining our life with this land? That might be let's do it. Godless Shrine untap, down to 18. Start working towards our Near-Death Experience. Swamp. And Tidehollow Sculler. Takes our Thoughtseize. Interesting. Well, let's go Island into Bitter Blossom. Contaminated Ground. Whenever Enchantment is a swamp, whenever it becomes tapped, its controller loses 2 life. Alright. That's actually not bad. If we get the white mana, that actually helps us control our life total. to drain ourselves for our near-death experience. So we get a token. I guess we go Polluted Delta, crack it, get a Hallowed Fountain. Oh, wait, this isn't blue. This is a swamp now. Alright, so we just got to pass, actually. I was going to play Calcite Snapper. I forgot, this still looks like an island, but technically it is a swamp. Another contaminated ground. No! Now we need more white mana. Alright, I guess we just block. Do we want to lose some life here? We drain ourselves to 8. Bitter Blossom puts us to 7. I don't think we need to yet. We take 1 from Bitter Blossom. So I think the plan here is to play Urborg and just pass the turn and set up a scenario where we disenchant a contaminated ground to get white mana, play Near Death Experience next turn. We want to wait to make sure it's still in our hand, basically. Another contaminated ground. Okay. I think we got it. I think. So we block with our fairy. What a crazy game. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we disenchant this contaminated ground. Do we want to drain? I think. So we drain ourselves to 9. Get rid of that contaminated bond. Lose a life from Bitter Blossom. Wall of Denial. Play this untapped. Do we need to wait an extra turn and play a blocker first? That throws off the math. So what we can do is we can play Near Death Experience, but that puts us in a position if they can kill our fairy, we lose. We can also just play a Wall of Denial as a blocker. I think that's safest. Play Wall of Denial as a blocker, pass the turn, then next turn, Near Death Experience will put us to 1, and then we should be able to win the following turn by stacking our triggers correctly with Near Death Experience and Bitter Blossom. Oh my god! No! Way! Really? Really? Well, our opponent's going to take our Near Death Experience. I thought they might have a path because they hadn't been playing some cards in their hand, and that would make sense when I figured they would have cast a discard spell, but so I am assuming they just drew that Duress. That would make the most sense. We own an Arbiter. We could still just draw another Near Death Experience, and then we win. Opponent attacks for no real reason. We will block. Well, we might pay the price for aggressively attacking our own life total. Come on, let's draw it. Well, Worship is not bad. Except it doesn't help with Bitter Blossom, because that is loss of life. So now we all kind of need a way to get rid of our own Bitter Blossom, or a way to find a Near Death Experience. Contaminated Ground. Alright. All 4 of those. Opponent attacks. Doesn't attack. What an absurd game. Also slow. We've run into a ton of super slow opponents. Bitter Blossom. Alright, Flooded Strand. We'll play it. Attack with a Fairy Rogue. Pass the turn. Oh, we still need to draw an answer. Or another Near Death Experience. No attacks. Alright, we lose a life. Get another token. Down to 3. Another Wall of Denial. Doesn't do it. We will get in with 2 Fairy Rogues. We're not going to be able to race our own Bitter Blossom, unfortunately. Opponent's going to Thoughtseize. Alright. Come on, let's draw it. Oh, Wall of Denial. So we attack for 4. We put our opponent to 11. Then we attack for 4. Put our opponent to 7. And die. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Alright, well, now the name of the game is draw our 1 remaining disenchant next turn. That is the entire game. Tidehollow Sculler. Come on, disenchant. Disenchant? Come on, disenchant. You know you wanna. Disenchant. Whoa! Holy! Oh my god. Oh, we got it. We drew it. Now we win. Most likely. Yes! Yes! The old 1 in 43 shot. And now we can attack with everything because we got worship. Oh! I can't believe that happened. Well, sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. Oh my gosh. Our opponent drew that perfect discard spell to keep us from getting the sweet near-death experience kill, and we got the top deck on the very last possible turn. And now we don't even really care. We just beat our opponent down with our fairies. And they can't hurt us because of the worship. Oh my goodness. That is not how we drew it up, but we're going to win this match because of it. No attacks. Calcite Snapper, doesn't matter. Get in with our fairies. So our opponent now has 1 turn to draw a bump in the night or something that doesn't do damage but makes us lose life. Or somehow gets rid of our worship. Alright. Whoo! Oh my goodness. Well, we got lucky on that one, boys and girls. We got incredibly lucky on that one. So what did we learn this week? Well, despite our awkward matchups, we actually won 2 matches. And I think, I don't know, this deck is weird. It can theoretically beat anyone. The combo, like we've already seen Worship be powerful in our Budget Magic Troll Worship. So the combo of Worship and Karma and Urborg and near-death experience is a really good way to win a game. And it's also possible to win even without all of those pieces. Like, just Worship and a creature, Karma and Urborg will win the game. Or sometimes we get the near-death experience kill even without Worship. Like the first game when we were playing Jeskai Control, and we were able to just shock and fetch our way down to 1 life and win that way. So it's really interesting and it's really fun. Obviously, it's not the most competitive deck in the world. I think you could build it and play it for fun, but I wouldn't expect to win any major tournaments with it. It's really hard to say as far as the matchups what is good or bad. Obviously, things that can make us discard or can counter are key pieces because our pieces are expensive. So getting a near-death experience hit by a remand, or as we saw in that last game, we were setting up for the kill and someone played a duress and took our near-death experience, something like that can really set us back, which is why the deck isn't going to be a tournament viable deck. Like, there's 1 and 2 mana answers to our 5 mana plays that are going to win us the game. But it's pretty neat, and the interactions are really fun when you get to fire off an Urborg with a Karma, with a Worship, with a near-death experience. It's a really cool way to win the game, and it's a lot of fun to play. The one thing that the deck has going for it is there are times when you can just slam a Bitter Blossom on turn 2 and win the game with Bitter Blossom. And it also works well with the rest of our plan because it provides this constant stream of creatures for Worship, and it also drains our life for the near-death experience. So I like how the deck came together and the synergy of the deck and just how all the pieces fit together. But we're asking for a lot to go right to get the near-death experience kill. We need a lot of pieces to combine together to make that happen. But regardless, it was a lot of fun to play. I love finding these weird combos and trying to win with them. So I had a blast playing it this week. Anyway, make sure to check out the website, mtggoldfish.com. That is where you'll find the article for this Against the Odds. You'll also find the poll for next week's Against the Odds, where you can vote for the next deck we'll play. And if you enjoyed the video and enjoyed seeing us pull off the win with Near Death Experience, make sure to click that subscribe button that's going to pop up on the bottom of your screen to keep up on all the latest and greatest in video content from mtggoldfish.com. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.